Lauren Reed Color. Today I am starting a new series of videos in which I'll be providing an overview of the sets of colored pencils that I have in my collection. I'll be discussing the range of colors, I'll be talking about their traits and characteristics, the mediums they work well with, the paper that they like, and I'll also be showing some examples of colored pages. I just want to note that while I do have several sets in my collection is not exhaustive by any means, and there are many brands that I do not have. The reason for this is that I would like to finish up using the sets that I already have before buying new pencils. Nevertheless, there are 3 or 4 sets that I consider my go-to pencils, and these pencils I replace often. My thinking behind this video is that I would like to provide viewers with an idea of which brands of pencils they will be encountering in my color alongs. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we're going to get started with the coloring community's favorite brand of pencil, and that is Prismacolor Premier. So let's get started. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that I am a colorist who enjoys layering her pencils. Nevertheless, every once in a while, it is good to just put down a couple of layers and then blend them together, and no other brand does this as well as Prismacolors. When I first started out on my coloring journey and watching YouTube channels, these were the pencils that I saw used most often, and I decided that I would give them a try, and I purchased the 72 set, which is what I have in front of me, and then later on I purchased the full set of 150 colors. So let's talk about those pencils now. Prismacolors are primarily a wax-based pencil, which makes them soft and creamy and opaque and perfect for blending and mixing colors. However, it also makes them prone to breaking, especially in cold climates, because the wax hardens and then they break if you drop them or if you sharpen them in the wrong way. And some of the pencils are actually more prone to doing them, to breaking than others. For example, the electric blue. It's my nemesis. Every time I sharpen this pencil, it breaks. Anyway, another thing that you can get with Prismacolors is something called wax bloom. This is a phenomenon that happens when you layer up the pencils and a film of wax starts to appear on the paper. This doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the pencils. It is a naturally occurring phenomenon, but it does happen sometimes, and you can easily remove the wax bloom by taking a damp piece of cloth or piece of paper, roller towel, paper towel, and wetting a bit and wiping it off. But it might even come back even if you do that. Anyway, the set also has an excellent range of colors. Okay, so there are warm tones and cool tones, lots of greens, lots of colors for skin. This set of 150 is perfect for many different types of images. So for example, for florals, architecture, skin, as I said. One thing Prismacolors are not that good with, and that is fur and hair. Because they are wax, the point of the pencil wears down quite quickly, and so it is not good for prolonged flicking motions that you need for fur and hair. You would constantly need to sharpen the pencil to get a sharp point, and that means that you would wear down the pencil quite quickly. In addition, Prismacolors has hands down the best set of gray pencils I have ever encountered in any set of pencils. They are just amazing, from light grays all the way through to dark grays, warm, cool, and French grays. They are perfect for highlights, for shading, for anything that you need in terms of making your pages pop. The range also includes fantastic muted colors, and I have never seen any other set with these kinds of muted colors, although the Castle Arts Pastel Tint and Harmonia set comes pretty close, but not exactly, and I still turn to my Prismacolors whenever I want muted pencils. While Prismacolors are not the most expensive brand on the market, they aren't that cheap either. Right now, Amazon US is having a limited deal, and they are selling the 150 set for $110. I think this is relatively good price for Prismacolors, and budget allowing, they are worth getting because they are wonderful pencils, and they are also the brand of pencils that most YouTube colorists use on YouTube. So now I'm just going to show you some examples of pages that I've colored and talk a little bit about the mediums and the paper that Prismacolor works well with. Okay, so the book that I have used Prismacolor the most in is Romantic Country by Erie. I must say that Prismacolor does not really like this paper. It is too smooth. Because they are wax-based pencils, they require some tooth for the pencil to grip onto and lay down smoothly. Nevertheless, one of the best techniques to use in this book with Prismacolors is to put down a layer of Inktense or some other water-based medium to create some texture for the paper and for the pencils to grip. So that is what I have done on this page. We've got some Inktense and then the pencil on top. Another good example of that technique is this page. Okay, so also Inktense on the bottom and then Prismacolor on top. I'll also show you one where I did not use Inktense. This is one of my very first pages, and as you can see, there's a bit of wax bloom on this page. So it just gives you this creamy, waxy film on top of the image, but it easily wipes off, as I was saying earlier. There's no Inktense on this page. And also what happens if you don't put Inktense over time, the pencil also fades a little bit. Yes, here you can see the wax bloom quite well. Yeah, so that's that book. Another book where I've used Prismacolor is in Rhapsody in the Forest by Kanoko Igusa. And yeah, this was an early page using Prismacolors. Yeah, also just a little bit of wax bloom, not as much as in the Erie books. This paper is also quite smooth and the Prismas don't really like it either, but I still like using Prismas in this book. Here is another example. The background is Prisma. The fur is not Prisma. The feathers on these owls is Polychromos because, as I said earlier, you cannot really use Prismacolors for fur. Okay, another example is Fairy Celebrations by Klara Markova. In this page, I actually did use the Prismacolors for the feathers, simply because I wanted to get a fluffy look. Okay, so here I ended up sharpening the pencils quite a bit each time, but I definitely wanted the more fluffy look, especially for the signet, and that's why I used Prismacolors and not Polychromos, so I could get the more soft look. And yeah, actually the Prismacolors worked very nicely on this paper. It is slightly toothier than the Erie book and the Kanoko Igusa book. Another book where I've used Prismacolor is the Mouse Guard book by David Peterson, and this is a page colored with Prismacolors. As you can see, I used the Prismacolor on the fur and it got a little bit more fluffy look. This paper is also quite smooth, and I'm not sure that I enjoy the Prismacolors on it. I think it would be better to use Polychromos on this paper. For example, here I used a water-based medium and then Polychromos pencils on top, and I think the effect is better. Yeah, Prismacolor likes, as I said, toothier paper. And last but not least, okay, we have this Bakunawa page, which is also with Prismacolors. Here you actually see Prismacolors to their best effect with the blending. Yeah, they blend so beautifully on the background, on the dragon, in the water, on the masts of the ship. And this paper is also a little bit more toothy than the Erie and Kanoko Igusa book, so it lays down better in Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosannes. One last thing that I want to mention about Prismacolor is that they produce another set of pencils in addition to the regular Prismacolors, and these ones are called Very Thin. If I remember correctly, the largest set that you can get is 36, which is what I have, and some of the colors match the colors in the Prismacolor set. So, for example, yes, Dahlia Purple is also a color in the other set, and This one is light peach, and so on. So you can basically use them as a complement to the other Prismacolor set. And the way that they are different is that, first of all, the barrel is not round, it's a hexagon, so it doesn't fit into every sharpener. Also, the lead is quite thin, but it is also much harder. It has more oil in it than wax, and so you can get a really, really sharp point, and you can basically use these together with the other ones to fill in small details, to get fine detail on your artwork, and so on. So it is a complementary set, and you don't have to get it because the colors are the same as in the regular Prismacolors. Okay, so yeah, that's all of the Prismacolors, and now we're going to move on to one more set that I'm going to discuss today, and that is the Polychromos. As I said previously, my favorite method of coloring is layering. Yes, it is more time consuming and takes more effort, but I personally find the process relaxing and the results are absolutely spectacular. Consequently, my favorite brand of pencils are Faber-Castell Polychromos. These are also the pencils that I think are the second most popular on YouTube. Anyway, let's take a look at the pencils. This is them. It comes in a range of 120 colors. So you have some gorgeous yellows, reds, purples, blues, greens. It does not have the muted colors that Prismacolor has, but you can get those colors by adding any of these colors and either white or my personal favorite, the ivory, and then you can get muted colors, and that is the beauty of layering. The more you layer, the more the pencil colors change, and so on. So Polychromos pencils have a round barrel. The lead is primarily oil, and therefore the lead is much harder, and you can get to a very, very sharp point, which is perfect for layering. It is perfect for hair and fur and grass. So these, as I said, are my absolute favorite pencils. They are an artist grade pencil, and they also have a light fast rating, which conforms to the international standard. So every pencil will have, in addition to the name and the number, it will also have these stars to indicate the light fast rating. And because they are an artist grade pencil, they are also one of the more expensive brands on the market. Currently, Amazon US has them for $158, but if you have the budget and you are a layer like me, I strongly, strongly recommend these pencils. So let me show you some examples of pages that I've completed with them. The first couple of examples are in Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hannah Carlzon. And here we have this gorgeous autumn beetle that I did a couple of years ago. Another thing about Polychromos is that if you make a mistake, because they are a layering pencil, correcting mistakes is actually quite easy. So for example, on this page, when I originally did the background, I had done these bouquet circles very close together and clustered very near to each other, and I did not like the effect. So because I was using Polychromos, it was very easy to erase, cover over the bouquet circles, and then put them back in. So that I would not be able to do with Prismacolor because the wax sticks to the paper more adhesively than the Polychromos do, because Prismacolors are not a layering pencil, they're a blending pencil. So getting mistakes corrected is more difficult with Prismas. At least I find that to be the case. And here you can see the effects of layering. So there's something like 7 or 8 layers on all of these elements, and the more you layer, the deeper the color becomes. You can also get nice muted effects by adding white, as I said earlier. So over here and over here, and I really love my polys. They're my favorite pencil. I think I've said that before. Another page that I recently completed is this owl page. Not the background. The background is Neocolor 2's, but the owl itself and the jacket and the ribbon and the branch, it's all Polychromos, and you can get such rich and deep colors with Polychromos by layering one layer on top of the other on top of the other. Yes, as I said, time consuming and a lot of effort, but well worth it in my opinion. The pages always come out looking so gorgeous. Okay, I'll show you another example. Okay, another page that I completed using Polychromos is in Mythographic Imagine by Joseph Kattenbang. And here, this is the page that I completed. So we have this moon and the cloud. So here, if I can, lift it up a little bit. Here you can see just how many layers have gone into creating these clouds. So I started off with a light layer of light magenta and then put subsequent layers of darker colors on top to get that effect of layered cloudy sky there. And the same goes for the moon. And because I could layer like that, I also got this glow. I find that getting glows with Prismacolors is achievable, but it takes a bit more effort. You've got to be careful to leave your highlight spaces absolutely white with Prismacolors. With Polychromos, you can put a light layer down and then you can put white on top to get the glow. Because of the more translucent effect, you still get the color from underneath that white, which you don't get so much with Prismacolor because they're more opaque. Okay. Another page that I have is from the Game of Thrones coloring book, and here we have this page. So here what I did, I put a layer of Inktense and then Polychromos on top. Now you can use Inktense with both Prismacolors and with Polychromos. When you use it with Prismacolors, the Prismacolors, as I said, are more opaque, so they completely go over the Inktense and change the color of the Inktense quite significantly. The purpose of using Inktense with Prismacolor is more to give the paper some more tooth to work with. In contrast, when you use Inktense with Polychromos, the Polychromos are more translucent, so the color of the Inktense emerges from beneath the Polychromos. So you see it here on his cape. This very, very bright yellow is Inktense, and the shading is Polychromos. You see it here too on the banners. The color underneath is the Inktense fuchsia, and then it is just the Polychromos for shading. So that's one way you can get quicker results with Polychromos if you don't want to layer and layer and layer, is to use Inktense and then Polychromos for shading. So I can't get the same effects with Prismacolor. The Prismacolor makes the Inktense sort of vanish. Okay, and one more page is in Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. So here I did both of these pages using Polychromos. So the backgrounds of these two pages are, I started off with Inktense, and then I used the shadows that the Inktense created to create the bokeh effect. So I used the Polychromos to make the bokeh effect, so some darker circles, some lighter circles, and again the translucency of the Polychromos allows the Inktense to emerge from underneath, and the rest of it I did not base. The flowers, the butterflies, that's all just Polychromos with no basing. And here too, the background is based with Inktense with Polychromos on top for the bokeh effect. So for example, here you see I created the circle on top of the Inktense. The Inktense is still visible underneath, and then the white Polychromos has given us that lighter effect. And then here the bumblebee is based with Inktense, and then it is shaded with Polychromos, but here on the bottom there's no basing with Inktense, it's just Polychromos. And here as well you get the gorgeous layers of the pencil. So I really love my Polychromos, if you haven't already understood that from my blabbering on about them. Highly recommended pencils. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me as I have gone through my Prismacolors and my Polychromos pencils. Both of them are fabulous pencils for different reasons. I truly think that the best thing to do is to figure out what kind of colorist you are, what kind of style you prefer, and choose the pencils that match your style. Are you a blender or are you a layerer? That will determine, because neither one of these pencil brands is good for your wallet. Anyway, thanks again, and I hope to see you soon for more videos. Bye for now.